Here we are, 3 months after the release of my first video on Counter-Strike 2 on Linux. And I told you in the video, I will come back, make more tests, and see where we are at in the big battle between Windows and Linux for this title. And I have a lot to say again. Let's get into it. As always, let's start with a little bit of context. I have a really bad day, okay? It happens to most of us. And you can tell like in my eyes or on my haircut, but that's not the problem. It has been a real pain. Try to provide you guys a good benchmark between Windows and Linux. And it's pretty simple. On Windows, the game runs on DirectX 11. But on Linux, it runs natively on Vulkan. Okay? So it's like we are comparing like Apple and sausage there. It's not exactly what you are expecting in terms of like pure benchmark. The second one, and I'm going to show it to you right now, is the fact that there is a special tool within Counter-Strike, all of them, and also Counter-Strike 2, called recording a demo. So what you can do, you can open your console, and on paper, you are able to record the whole like game via the console. So you create a little file, and then you can play it. And this was really cool, like a long time ago when I was playing Counter-Strike Source, because we will be taking the demo from the server and analyzing all the strategy through those files. So they have a real usage. The issue is like when I'm trying to record one locally while running a deathmatch, for example, it will just crash. So I don't own a server on Counter-Strike 2. I don't even know if I can run that, to be fair. And that's the main issue. Like I try, so I'm going to give you an example there. Like the recording kind of work, but when I try to play the demo, it just crashed. So in a perfect world, what I would have done is like record the full demo and then play it on Windows and then on Linux. But yeah, it doesn't work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you my settings, which I've been using on both Windows and Linux. And what I try to do is like go into a dev match and walk in certain direction. Okay, like go on long, for example, etc., etc., etc. And just to give you an idea of what will be the all like FPS difference. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you the footage, and you're going to make yourself like an idea about how everything is running really. So enjoy. All right, so now you know everything. And obviously, those benchmarks are not perfect, but they kind of give you an idea of what will be the difference between running the game on Windows and Linux. And what is funny about it is the fact that the difference is not that big. In certain areas, there is like 50, 70, 60 FPS difference. But when you go in other area, it can go up to like 200 FPS difference. And because the FPS are pretty high on Linux, I wouldn't say it's bad. Okay, like the performance itself is not that bad. The issue I have though is like when I'm playing on Linux and I have everything optimized. So I'm running on X11 with the latest NVIDIA driver. I feel like there is a little bit of input lag. I can't really explain it, but it's something I for example, don't encounter if I'm playing Apex Legends. So I don't really believe is related to Linux itself. There is something else within the game on Linux, but just the way they coded the game on Vulkan, that makes the game a little bit more laggish. So you might not really feel it because it's really small, depending on your screen refresh rate or your ability to see those type of detail. But I can guarantee you, it's not the best. That's the first point. Second point is that compared to 3 months earlier, the game runs way better. That's a fact. It's still not run as good as on Windows, but it runs way better. First, the sound issue is gone. I tried to play a lot, replicate the exact situation. I had the sound issue when I was making the test 3 months ago, and I couldn't do it. So I think this is gone. Now the game runs perfectly, even without any type of launch command, which is awesome. Those problems have been fixed, but it's still not perfect. And if I had to, give my feedback towards someone who want to get into competitive gaming, I think on Linux right now, it's still not ready. I don't even want to talk about Wayland because Wayland and NVIDIA right now, it's a no-go. Maybe with AMD it's different, but I don't have an AMD card to test it. So I can't really tell. But I would say overall, it's not there. Can you get better at the game while playing on Linux? Of course. But you're just in my opinion, getting some performance behind, and we'll have an input lag which is going to be a little bit higher than what you will have on Windows, unfortunately. Well, I guess this is not the news you wanted to hear, but it is what it is. And to date, even if the number of FPS and the stability of the game has just improved in a crazy way for the last 3 months, it's still not there. And if you want to, be super competitive in this game, you're going to have to run it on Windows for now. Yeah, that's all. I know it's not the news you wanted to hear. It's not the news I wanted to hear too, but that's what it is. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Don't forget to subscribe and like to help the algorithm to go crazy high in the sky. And if you want to help this channel financially, you know where to go. Patreon and YouTube membership. Have a good rest of your day and see you in the next one. Bisous, bisous.